There's a form of terrorism that most people are not discussing. The politicians nor the preachers. Pedophiles target unsuspecting families.
There is an urgent need to guard our children from sexual abuse. Please help us to protect children who cannot protect themselves. This is a great opportunity to literally save lives. Please join with us now.
We're excited to welcome to our program today Mr. Abraham McDonald. He's given us some amazing music, singles like Hero. Of course, another song that a lot of people know is Miracle. But he's preparing for the release of his new single for those joining us online called Better. We're going to talk to him about that. Also, what the musical journey has been like for him and how this single is really something also about himself and what is to come. Abraham, thank you so much for the time today.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here.
Look, man, I was just saying to you, it's so good to actually, after all these years of interviewing you on Conversations Live, the radio show for our radio audience, it's so good to finally meet you in person and to be able to share your story on camera with our audience. I mean, you know, your journey is so remarkable, Abraham, because you have been able to literally live out your dream, and it's been able to play out for the world to be able to see. I mean, what has that been like for you to share this journey with the rest of us?
You know, I don't know if I've ever thought about that. That's a big question. It's not a small question. I often ask people who get to take steps on their journey with me what it feels like to them, because though we're in the same room, we're not in the same seat.
Sure.
So hearing the question kind of come back my way is kind of like, yo, but what does it feel like? It's kind of, you know, at times it's ethereal. It's kind of like this whimsical feeling. Like the end of the year was kind of crazy for me. I honored Deborah Lee from BET, of course. Mm-hmm. I did a beautiful show at East West Studios where we did a tribute to Luther Vandross. 5 cameras set up and the whole thing. I did the IFA Awards and all of this stuff. But in the middle of that happening, my aunt who raised me passed and had all kinds of things going on. So I guess I kind of look at certain things like the songs and the experiences kind of parallel with my life. So I guess I don't go too far into the stratosphere with whatever I think.
Sure.
And it's more so because I'm like one of those people where I believe that the journey that I'm on is so, man, it's so, okay, it's like, the journey I'm on is so not by the orchestration of my hands.
Yeah.
My song, I can sing. I can sing, great. But I don't think that this particular story is about that. Yeah. I think that this particular story has more to do with obedience and God's favor and what it looks like trying to trust Him daily.
Right.
Doing Oprah Winfrey, of course, was absolutely amazing. It places you in a room and you're immediately A. You're of A status immediately just because of who introduced you. But then there's a space of earning. There's a space of earning that you have to go through, and I don't think people get to understand that because all they see is what's been projected into the universe.
Right.
So you see me on this TV station, or you hear me on the radio, or you get to see me at a show, and you say, oh, everything is great. And I say, well, you know what? My life looks just like yours. Even though it seems a little different because our professions are different, but it's the same thing. So if you wanted to be a dentist and you're a rock star dentist, then every time you get up to do it, you're doing it with the intention of serving the people.
Right.
It's the same thing with me. So my journey continues to unfold. There have been days where I've been like, the hell is going on? And then there have been days like today where I get a text from my director saying, hey, you'll get the first look of your full video tonight. You have a music video? See, this is the thing. Right. You dream the dream.
Right.
You believe it's possible. But there's something, I think that returning to the childlike state at every inch of the road, it's really important. Because if you forget how special each thing is, it becomes the machine.
Right.
So having been signed to Def Jam put me in a machine, a big one. And when you're a part of a machine, oftentimes you're a number. I thank God for the handlers that I've had throughout my seasons, my 9 lives, as Whoopi Goldberg would say, my 9 lives in entertainment. Had some amazing handlers. And those handlers have taught me incredible things. Max Goose, and of course my sister at one point managing me, and L.A. Reid, and of course having the favor of getting a launching pad like the Oprah Winfrey Show. Those things teach you things. Right. And so I'm like, yo, I'm long-winded, but I'm also like, the journey continues to better itself. Right. But that's only because I really believe that your approach to the vision is enjoying the journey day by day.
Right. No, that was a perfect answer. And I'm glad that you mentioned better, because for 2 reasons. One, that is the title of the new single that you're gearing up for, that you were mentioning about the video. But as I said to you before we went on here, Abraham, I thought about when I was prepping for your segment, the hashtag you were using on social media, hashtag Better Is Coming. And of course, you're talking about the single, but also isn't that a reminder in life for you? Well,
I love what's happening with me right now. I can't, like Cyrus, okay guys, Cyrus is like family now. And when you come into the music industry or entertainment, you have people who believe because of the moment you're in, and then you have people who believe because God told them no. You keep your eye on this one.
Yeah.
And I believe that that's the relationship that we have. So you're going to get information that others don't even have yet. Better Is Coming isn't just, it's become my mantra. Push your dreams as if they're as light as a feather. Just want to be of service. Those are also hashtags, phrases that can be, attached to be connected with me. But Better, when we first decided to do the record, it was me. That it was just simply that I was in love with the song, and that people seemed to be in love with the song as I performed it.
Right.
But then I had to take a look at my life. I had to take a look at what's transpired just over the last 2 years. Heart disease, having a polyp that burst on my vocal cords, having to make the choice, like, I'm taking care of my family and I'm living. I get heart disease. I can't work. I'm out of work. My home is now in jeopardy. Everything's going on. And I had some choices to make, but the choices weren't about the stuff and things. So I thought the choices were about how I felt about myself. Success is an internal conversation.
Right.
Better Is Coming became my hashtag because I had to believe that to get out of the state of mind I was in. I was beginning to believe that that even though I know God has deemed me worthy simply because I'm here, that belief was beginning to fade because of the dialogue I was having inside.
Sure.
And so the question became, well, Abraham, what do you believe? It's really crazy that I wasn't born in church, raised in church and all that stuff. But all this stuff comes to me. Whose report do you believe? That became the question.
Right.
Abraham, whose report do you believe? God gave you a vision even before you hit Oprah Winfrey's stage. And each step of the way, he's shown you. You've lived it out. You've performed for Shimon Peres, a president and prime minister of Israel. Michelle Obama. You've been in some of the strongest rooms. You've helped serve the people. Right. Those are things God told you to do. That's not some stuff you dreamed up.
Right.
Those are things you believed. How come you don't believe them anymore? Because I'm in my circumstances. My circumstances are forcing me, so to speak, to believe otherwise. Well, I had to get in the huddle. I told somebody the other day, I said, I've been in my bed for a week sick. And they said, they thought it was about my relationship. And I said, oh, no, we don't stay in bed over things like that. No.
Right.
I'm in a wrestle with God right now.
Yeah.
I'm in a wrestle. There's some things that he's told me, he's shared with me. And he's saying, son, you need to believe it before you can even speak it.
Yeah.
You need to believe it. Better Is Coming is the evidence, the declaration that my life is worth more in the master's hand than it is even in mine.
Right.
It's me trusting that the small things I do add up, and not simply in dollars, but in the bank account of life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's not about you sowing seed to reap, but the truth is that is how it goes.
Right.
You sow seed to reap a harvest. But what kind of seeds have you been sowing with yourself and your thinking? Have you been sowing seeds of life, seeds of integrity, seeds of joy, seeds of tenacity and fortitude, seeds of encouragement? What are you telling yourself? For a minute, I was telling myself the opposite of all of that. Right? So Better Is Coming was ignited in the space of I felt like I didn't deserve because my success wasn't looking like what they thought it should look like.
Yeah.
Who in the hell is that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So God says, well, now that you're done wrestling, I can show you more of what I have in store for you. Now that you're done wrestling, because the truth is the wrestle is within ourselves. Because it doesn't look like what we think it should look like because of what's projected on television. We don't have the utensils and the tools. And I said, yo, Abraham, so you're sitting around waiting for a new deal. Why? Abraham, you didn't start off in front of the camera, you started off behind it.
Right.
You knew how to create product. You knew how to create imagery. You knew how to build the buzz. Abraham, how come you don't believe in Abraham enough to do that for you?
Right.
What is that? Better is coming. So I began to say it to myself, better is coming. Better is coming. A good friend of mine said you have to get in the mirror sometimes and tell yourself. There's a word that says, Lord, I believe, but help my unbelief. Mm-hmm. Right? My unbelief was the life I've lived, my circumstances. You got heart disease, you laid up in the hospital, they don't know what's going on, your family is all hell done broke loose. My circumstances, right? But help my unbelief. My unbelief says that Abraham, the record that comes forth now will be the launching pad of your future, but only if you believe. You thought it was Oprah. No, son, that was me showing you the flower. Now I want you to have the fruit.
Wow. Imagine. And I think that is a great thing. We've been seeing the teaser on your website. We're about to give that out here in a moment, Abraham. And I think, for this single, depending on when our audience is watching us, it's actually launching February the 19th. The single and the video, as you were sharing with us, covered out together. So for our television audience, by the time you all see it, you all can go ahead and start supporting that already. But, I think that's the great thing. You have such a loyal support system, not only that is seen, but also that is unseen through social media and other ways, Abraham. And I think that online cheering squad, as I sometimes call it, that kind of pushes forward. And you're right, I've always, since the first time I heard your music, I was like, you know what, I'm a fan, and every chance I get, every time you would say yes, I would say, hey man, please, let's have another conversation, because I believe in being able to share those great things. Mm-hmm. So as you look ahead to this year and look at what is to come, what do you want our audience to know about themselves and what's possible for them when it comes to that hashtag, Better Is Coming, Abraham?
I would say that we spend a lot of time degrading ourselves internally, and we do it based on what we see, what we believe, and I was saying to a person the other day, I said, it's interesting how I would hold this person up in comparison of myself when I believe what God says to me. You are uniquely and wonderfully made. Uniquely, that means set apart immediately. They're authentic. There's nothing like you, right? So when you hold yourself up to something else or someone else and you say, well, I'm not this, I'm not that, then you've ultimately disrespected the vision that's for your life. So my hope with most of the people that I encounter is that they would breed encouragement. You have to breed encouragement. You have to breed emotional muscle. Music, fashion, entertainment. Hell, if you work at the stock market, none of it cares about you. It's an engine. It's a machine. And yes, we are the people that keep the machine going, but ultimately God, the universe, decides who's you're in, you're out, right? But sometimes we feel like, it's not happening fast enough. It's not happening fast enough. And when it doesn't happen in our time, we believe that it's not supposed to happen. Well, I say to you, that success is internal, right? But if you could imagine yourself, the vision, the dream, being the seed that's planted near a river that has access to all kinds of water, but the seed never growing because you never build the strength up to stretch yourself out to get to what you need, that's on you, boo.
Yeah.
That's all on you. You believe that. You believe that every seed that he's planted, he intends to see something good come from it. It's you who holds yourself up. What are you thinking about? What are you immersed in? How much time do you spend thinking about some stuff that ain't gonna get you nowhere?
Right.
Get to the space where you cast it out. That's where I am. I'm at this. You can throw it out, cast it out, burn it out. You can do whatever you need to do. You ain't got to be with Jesus. You ain't got to be Hindu. You ain't got to be Jewish. None of it. But what you do have to do is believe that it's supposed to be yours. I look at Muhammad Ali. The people I study aren't always music artists.
Right.
Muhammad Ali, for me, gives me the human experience of God's authority in humility. What does that mean? That means that he knew that he was Muhammad Ali before he was even born. Something happened to him when he came out boxing. This is what I was made for, right? And so in that authority, there's no humility because he's in agreement with what God said.
Yeah.
In agreement with God said doesn't mean you don't have to be nice, because he was very nice, a very nice man, went to school with his daughters and everything, right? But he knew who he was, and no one could challenge that. Right. The internal conversation you're having has to be with a bigger source than you. Because when that source confirms the vision, the dream, that's when the energy comes. That's when the fuel comes to keep pushing. Better is coming because there is fuel behind it. And my fuel could run out. Cyrus, that's what we have to understand. Right. My fuel could run out, and that means that I could begin to look for other things to pump me, prod me, pull me, push me along. But that's not how I'm doing it. Every person that's worked on this Better project so far, whether it's the Ralph Sutton mixed it, engineer, Grammy Award-winning engineer. Rick James, you wouldn't thump to Rick like you do if it wasn't for Ralph Sutton. You know what I'm saying? Gabriel Rowland, my team, Alicia Campbell. We filmed the video in Studio D where Michael did Thriller. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything has been a gift from God. Every single leg of it. And now we're moving into the space where we're working on the entire album. The album is called Beautiful. Wow. An expression of love. I want people to understand that love is not as simple as I like you and you like me. And because I like you, you won't hurt my feelings. Or you like me, I won't hurt your feelings. No, love is rough. Right. Love sometimes is ugly. I love what we're going to do. One Luther remake. And that's the news. Breaking news. We're going to do one Luther remake. And just so you know, we keep it like this until another thing I did is I came out before we do my new photo shoot. So that's why there's scruff, that's why there's all this. Sure. I'm keeping the chocolate sexy. There's a line. There's a line in a Luther song that is kind of my inspiration for the album Beautiful. It says, when you take a chance on love you see, it's not a waste of time if you truly believe the impossible can be. So hold on tight if you think you're right, because nothing hurts as bad as when you see you get love too easily. Yeah. Right? Yeah. That is it. Who wants to try all day and look, don't wear me out for nothing. Don't you wear me out for nothing. Yeah. I plan to get somewhere. Yeah. And I think the Beautiful is an amazing road to getting there. Cornelio Austin, who's working with BJ the Chicago Kid, is taking lead on the project. I'm really, really excited. BJ the Chicago Kid stuff drops the same day as Better drops across the web in the world. He signed to Motown. I'm with 1977 Music, and I'm really, really excited that we're moving forward. Right. That fuel, that better is coming, is pulling me along.
Exactly. So much for us to look forward to. Thank you so much for sharing this great news with us, and we can't wait to share it with our online audience. Definitely. Abraham McDonald, everyone. Better is the single, February the 19th, for those joining us online. Make sure you look for not only the single and the video. For those watching us on television, it's already available for you all to be able to see. Abraham, give out that website where they can stay connected with you.
Yo, please do follow me. My name is Abraham McDonald, America's favorite crooner. www.abrahammcdonald.com. And anywhere on the web you can find me. Abraham McDonald, Abraham_McDonald. You'll find your chocolate if you're really looking for it.
Abraham, thank you so much for honoring us today while we're in Los Angeles, and looking forward to the next conversation with you.
Yes, sir. I had a great time, man.
All right, thank you.